parking lots in the village. Line striping, we bought a striping machine, okay, but that striping machine could be used for the parking lots, can be used for the stop bars at the corners, but it's not going to be used for the double lines going down Ahern and Brotherhood. So we have to contract that out. Street maintenance supplies, patching of the roads, $50,000. Street equipment purchase. You'll see later in the bond, okay, we put $25,000 in here, $10,000 in the water fund, $10,000 in the sewer fund. Street equipment maintenance, $20,000. Street personnel service, that's $180,000, and the superintendent at $40,000. Parks. Well, we have a new park that's coming online, Sewell Community Park at Washingtonville Commons. We're saying $35,000 to get that moving. Vern Allen Rehabilitation, $5,000. Special project at Vern Allen Park, a grant that was given to us by Assemblyman Skoufis, $135,000. He says $125,000, but we could go up to $135,000. We'll duke it out. But in that park, we're looking for a dog park. We're looking for a splash park, looking for a pavilion, looking for a larger area for playground. Park repair, topsoil and mulch, $15,000. Park repairs, $1,000. Utilities, $1,000. Park equipment, $7,000. And park professional service, $25,000. Young adult recreation programs. Okay, up from, we're at $23,000, up from $19,798. Recreation class body fit for adults, youth recreation program. This takes place at CYO and at Round Hill School.
So we're looking to possibly change from the CYO.
Yes, we're looking to possibly change locations for the CYO in lieu of going to the CYO. Culture, celebrations, $8,000. Village historian, special supplies at $300. Community environment, banners, $1,500. Holiday decorations, $4,000. Police booth, $400. Tower lights, security lights for Halloween. Landscape plants, flowers, $2,400. Street lights, very big number, $103,500. Even if they're out, we still get charged for them. So if they are out, please notify either the village hall here or DPW, Chris Martino. Brush chipper maintenance, signs, weed control, village property cleanup. Again, that would really have to do with the building inspector and code enforcement. However, we put it under community environment. Again, still in the A fund. Pet stations and supply, dumpster service, and garbage cans throughout the village that go into the dumpster. Zoning and planning, pretty much no increase from last year. Sanitation, storm sewer drainage projects. Last year, I believe there was $1,000 in the budget. We've increased it to $4,000. Employee benefits. Dental insurance, medical insurance, hospital for both the police department as well as every other village employee. Okay, that's up from $755,000, so approximately a $35,000 increase. What we did here to lower this cost was we outsourced our wastewater plant. Outsourced it to a company called JCO. Well, in the budget from last year, for benefits, there was $102,000 that was just going to lay there. So we're going to take that out to ease the pain on the retirement of, well, the benefits. The benefits are high based on the number of hours or money that each person is making. So we also hired more DPW workers. So it's lessening the overtime of those workers, okay? Lessening the overtime of the police. Okay, so these numbers, I'm told by the business manager of the school district that the numbers will be coming down next year from this year. By what amount? He couldn't give me the exact amount, but they would be coming down. But that's not where I wanted to go. But while I'm there, Kayla's on the right and Kenzie's on the left. And our debt service. Debt service on this building only. We have debt service on wells and on a sewer plant. Not the one that we're redoing, the one before that one. Okay, but the principal ban on this village hall is $35,953 with an interest payment of $21,499. Now, one thing that we didn't see in this budget that you have in front of you, okay? And as soon as I can bring it up, it is open.
At the bottom?
Yep. Okay. Let's go down to highways and streets. I might have to shrink it so we can see a little bit better. Well, highways and streets are the DPW. Now, one thing you don't see in here is paving of roads, sidewalks, curbing. For years, and I've been looking at budgets, copies of budgets for years, there always seemed to be a line item for paving of roads. Always seemed a line item for curbs and sidewalks. Well, last year, we had money left over from the previous year. We bought a dump truck. Didn't pave any roads. We used some CHIP money to do driveway curbing. Didn't touch the sidewalks, maybe the aprons of the sidewalk. So we had some money left over for that. So what we decided to do, I met with our financial people the other night, and I said, let me have a number that we can live with to have our roads paved, okay? And what we came up with, or what he came up with, Noah Nadelson from Unistat, was we could take out a $1 million bond. And length of the bond is 14 years. That's the most you could bond something in New York State. If we borrowed the whole $1 million, our debt service each year would total $91,800. That's a $1 million bond for having our roads paved. Okay, might not be enough. Okay, but it's a good start. What we did, said, okay, let's come up with a $2 million bond. And remember, we always budgeted 150 and 40. 150 for street paving, 140, 40,000 for sidewalks. And we still have that CHIPS money involved in here. So on a $2 million bond, our first payment would be $174,000, let's say. Okay? That's the full amount of the bond. We have brand new streets. We're not promising you we're going to get to your street. we're doing your streets. Okay, we took it out of, let's just add it in there and we could buy a dump truck. Well, let's add it in there and we could buy something else. So by taking out either the $1 million or $2 million, okay, either one, we're having our roads paved. Now, okay, not later. Now some roads would have to be ripped up and start all over again, which will give us the opportunity to see what actually is underneath that road. If you travel Decker Drive, and you come to the bottom of Capitol, there is something wrong underneath that road. All right, there's a pipe that comes down from Rear Court, I believe, that comes down, goes underneath that road. That's going to be a problem forever unless we correct it. What do we do with the drainage situation from Rear Court to Decker? Enter New York Rising. Okay, so working together, okay, using the funds available to us for that, contracting that out. We're not going to take that on by ourselves. We're not going to take the roads out on by ourselves, or the curbing. However, we will readjust the manholes that are needed. Okay, we have to purchase, but then which you brought up, going to New York Rural Water, okay, for manhole inserts. That's going to prevent rainwater from going into the manhole, going down to our wastewater treatment plant and treating fresh water, okay, which hopefully could bring those numbers down. So we have to make a decision which way we want to go. And the board is in agreement of we need to do this, but we're not in the agreement of which one we want to go with. Okay, we could start with 1 million and work up to 2, or we could start at 2 and say let's start there and lessen it if need be. Some, like I said, some roads have to be ripped up, start all over again. Some roads just have to be coated over. Right. Somewhere, I always heard that there was a list of roads that needed improvement now. Okay? I have yet to see that list. Okay? I had a resident the other day from Tower Hill begging me to pave that street. I don't know what maybe she thought I had all the equipment and I would be right out there. But traveling up that street, it needs to be repaired. Okay, and that's just one. Okay, we have several. So it's a start, but it's a promise. Okay, that we're going to take out this money, and this money is going to be strictly for road improvements. Okay, we're not going to start moving the money around from fund to fund.
And that's not due until the next budget.
Correct. That's on the bottom. Thank you for that.
That's not on this budget.
Correct.
We can take the loan and not pay until.
Right. The first payment is due April 19th. Principal is due April 15th of 2019, which is next year's budget. Okay. Interest due April 15th. And it's due twice a year thereafter. Okay. But something that we got to be aware of, next year's budget, that we have to at least budget $91,000. If this is where we're going with the 1 million, we have to budget at least $91,800, minus the $39,000 or $40,000 from CHIPS. Okay, so staying on this here, on the budget that you have in front of you, the paperwork, looking through this whole column of non-property taxes, and I didn't put anything up on the real property yet, and I'll get to that later on. Real property taxes, I telephoned Orange County Tax office regarding the sales tax that we should be receiving. It's going to be 2 payments in the month of February. One is larger than the other, but it's totaling $252,000, bringing our total for the year at $956,000. Utility gross receipts, $65,000. Franchises, $70,000. Last year was budgeted, I believe, at $95,000, and it could very well be that. Pub in lieu of taxes, $57,000. Stonehill, $38,000. Safety inspections, $30,000. Zoning and planning fees. This money comes in, the money goes out. Recreation programs for children and adults. The money comes in, the money goes out. Registrar, stop DWI, safety traffic, interest and earning, fines and forfeiture bail. Every day I keep asking, is this going up? And this was the latest number, I believe, the first week in January. So it probably did go up. The minor sales, scrap